Alright, so back with another video. Basically, coming up with the news of Boris Johnson in the Telegraph. In his column there, he's been. It was a piece about the burqa ban in Denmark, basically. The burqa ban in Denmark, and basically what he was thinking about that. So and he's came back with a bit of a backlash, calling of Islamophobia, as if you criticize Islam, obviously you're Islamophobic, you're racist, you're this, you're that, and basically Boris said that women in burqas, niqabs, basically that they look like letterboxes and that they look like bank robbers. Now, is that really? That seems to be the statement that the people are having problems with when he wrote this in his column in the Telegraph. So, you know, is that really such a offensive thing to say? Isn't it kind of true? Yeah, it's kind of funny as well. I'll admit, I laughed when I heard that. But some people, you can tell some people will be raging at that. But it's like, honestly, puts into question if people really think women need to dress up like that. It just tells you something about a culture that isn't right. And he also wrote, "If you tell me that the burqa is oppressive, then I'm with you. If you say that it is weird and bullying to expect women to cover their faces, then I totally agree. And I would add that I find no scriptural authority for the practice in the Quran." There you go. I would go further and say that it is absolutely ridiculous that people should choose to go around looking like letterboxes, and I thoroughly dislike any attempt by any invariable male government to encourage such demonstrations of modesty. Now that's pretty clear. That's pretty clear, and that's pretty. He's open and honest about it, and it's pretty straightforward. And you put it in that terms, how can you really disagree with it? Unless you're like, oh well, women should have the choice to wear the burqa. Okay, great. The MP also added, if a constituent came to my MP surgery with her face obscured, I would feel fully entitled, like Jack Straw, to ask her to remove it so that I could talk properly to her. If a female student turned up at school or a university lecture looking like a bank robber, then ditto. Those in authority should be allowed to converse openly with those that they are being asked to instruct. But he also, at the same times, is saying that this shouldn't publicly ban them in public. That's fair enough. If you say we shouldn't ban them, but we shouldn't be saying, "Go on, women, get get covered up, get back in the house, stay in the house, don't learn English." You know, have lots of kids. Well, having lots of kids is not a bad thing. He suggests that businesses should be able to ask women to remove the head covering so people can see each other's faces. Yeah, but look at the statistics. If you've ever looked at anything about this, Muslim women, there's something crazy. I don't know what it is. Like the amount of Muslim, like strict Muslim women that work is very low. They are housewives. There's nothing wrong with being a housewife. Housewife is a good choice, I think. And that's funny. That's contrary to what a lot of these things would say. It's like, oh, women are as good as anyone else. They should be able to go out and work and be miserable like everyone else. Yeah, they should be allowed to go out and miserable like everyone else, but they should also be allowed to be a housewife and look after children, which is what some women should really be doing, which is why you have a lot of unhappy feminists out there. I'm going Jordan Peterson on your ass now, sorry. Not really, but, choices, I'm pretty sure none of them think, I'd really love to, when it's like, it's going to be 40 degrees, 30 degrees. I'd really like a black piece of cloth over my face. You know, that sounds really comfortable. It doesn't sound terrible at all. You know? Now, fair enough. I understand modesty. You shouldn't have women going around wearing like no clothes whatsoever. But do they really need to cover their whole face? Their whole face, and they're not allowed to show their hair. Oh my god! If I see a woman in their hair, I just straight away fall in love with them. You know, is that what it is? But okay, you know, it doesn't matter my opinion, but that's just how I think. He's saying that the Denmark is wrong to ban the niqab and the burqa in public, and this is coming up as they had the first person that they actually fined in Denmark for actually wearing the burqa or niqab. I don't know which one. I don't know the difference, to be honest. One's just the eyes, and then there's... Yeah, it doesn't matter. Either way, these people should be... countries should... places should be able to make up their own laws about how they want it, and you shouldn't be pressured by Islamists or whoever, or the left, to bow to the pressure of these people, of the left or of the Islamists, that this is what if they want to go and wear the burqa, the niqab, go to a Muslim country, go to a Muslim country, go to their own countries. Like, if they want to wear it in Europe or wherever, they don't have any right to wear it, you know? It's not their country, it's not their culture, so they can't enforce their own culture onto other cultures and say, well, look, we've got this beautiful culture where we oppress women and they're not allowed to speak up or say anything, or they'll get beaten or whatever. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And I mean, this even saying that France, Belgium, Austria, and Germany have also implemented similar rules. But come on, I'm pretty sure in big ghettos in France, in Belgium, in Austria, maybe not Austria, I don't know how bad it is in Austria. In Germany, I'm pretty sure they're not going to go around policing this in the proper ghettos there, the no-go zones and stuff. Because you can tell in the big cities like Paris and Berlin and all these in Brussels and stuff, they're not going to go around, and they're not even going to go in there because they're like so... The communities there are very fervent. There'll be some really fervent, strong Islamist areas there, you know, where they're not going to go into. But basically, Boris Johnson had said that women who wear burqas, they look like post boxes, and they look like bank robbers. Basically, that's what he said. Which, I mean, is that unfair? He's making a little bit of a joke, but he's being like, well, if they want to have a proper conversation with me, they can take the thing off and we can have a proper conversation. You know, be civil about it. You know, he's not trying to be ridiculous. As Johnson mentions, already a fine of 1,000 krona has been imposed to a woman who was seen wearing a niqab in a shopping centre in north-eastern town of Holsholm in Denmark. So they had their first offence on the 1st of August of someone actually wearing a niqab in public, which is good because they're actually doing it. But Boris Johnson is saying basically, well, if you had this, it would create further divide between the two cultures, being like a culture war basically of the Islamic culture and the non-Islamic culture basically, which you've got that already. Some people already see it as that, but he's saying it would hype it up. It would hype it up a bit, but you've got to, if you don't take some stance against it, you're gonna have all these people trampling over everything, because the people are too soft on these people, and that's why you've had all this terrorist attacks and all these other things, and the hate preachers and everything, because if you just let them do what they want, they take it they'll take it all the way to full extremism because people are too scared to do anything because of being called an Islamophobe or a racist or this or whatever, you know. And when it's really, you've just got a problem with the religion. You should be able to freely criticize religion if there's something seriously wrong with it. And you've got a lot of the left wing people in the Labour Party who are cheering, who are going like, yes, finally, something that's going to take the heat off us. But really, it's not really, because the Labour Party is such a mess. It's such a bloody mess, and I don't think the anti-Semitism claim, well, at least the anti-Semitism claim for Jeremy Corbyn is anything. Just because he freaking supports Palestine, which he should, because he shouldn't support Israel because they're an apartheid state. But you know, just because he supports Palestine doesn't mean he hates Jews. He just hates Zionist Jews. No, he just hates that. He just doesn't like Zionists. He doesn't like Israel. It's a complete different thing. Some people can't see the difference. The difference is not all Jews are Zionists, and not all Zionists are Jews. Well, I guess that is kind of right, because you have Christians in America who support Israel, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But in America, anything's possible, I guess. Yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, so it's not really gonna. But they're coming out and they're being like, oh, he's a pound shop. He's a pound land. He's a pound shop. Donald Trump, because he said one bad. He's criticized Islam a little bit. You know, it's there to be criticized. Maybe if they calm down a bit, you know, they would. Muslim. Okay, here's David Lammy, Labour MP in some terrible place in London, probably. Tottenham. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. That's it. That's all you need to know. If you know what Tottenham is, it's in London. It's a very ethnic area, basically. A very terrible area of North London. Very terrible area. From what I've heard, I can't think of it. It's not like a nice area of London like Chelsea or Fulham. You know, Chelsea or Fulham or Kensington. It's not like that. It's like Tottenham. It's like Tottenham. Maybe it's not as bad as Tower Hamlets or whatever it is. That's supposed to be a full Islamist place. I don't think Tottenham's necessarily full Islamist. There'll be a lot of Muslims there though. Muslim women are having their burqas pulled off by thugs in our streets, and Boris Johnson's response is to mock them for looking like letterboxes. Our pound land, or pound shop. I keep calling it pound land. It's the same thing. Pound shop. Donald Trump is fanning the flames of Islamophobia to propel his grubby electoral ambitions. That's what they're worried about. That's what they're worried about, because you see all the Brexit stuff, you see all this other stuff. You know what? Boris Johnson's very close to becoming very popular, and nobody likes Theresa May. So if you come and if Boris comes along, he's gonna be pretty damn popular, I think. The type of people who are complaining about him are the exact people that already hate him, without him saying anything about Muslims. So this is just gonna win him more fans amongst your normal people, you know. Your normal, not how should I say this? It doesn't matter. Your more normal, kind of down to earth, kind of English people, you know. Here's John McDonnell, basically shadow chancellor. Hayes and Harlington. I can't say anything about his constituency. It's not quite as bad as Tottenham. Tottenham's very bad. Tottenham's really bad, basically, and they have a terrible football team. No, it's not even that. I'm just talking about their. John McDonnell, basically Jeremy Corbyn's chief. He's very Marxist. He's very terrible, basically. So here we go. What did he have to say about Boris? With the scale of Tommy Robinson demos, the storming of bookmarks, bookshop, I don't know what that is. And now Boris Johnson's Islamophobic comments. We can no longer ignore the rise of the far-right politics in our society. Maybe it's time for an anti-Nazi league type cultural and political campaign to resist. Really? Really? Like, really? Why? Anti-Nazi league. You've already got freaking Antifa that are a bunch of left-wing thugs. Deal with the anti-Semitic troublemakers in the Labour Party first. Take control over Labour MPs plotting to wreck the party. Take action against those non-members being anti-Semitic in Corbyn's name. Then start to tackle Islamophobia in politics and society. Okay, whoever guy commented that was fairly sensible. That was a Labour supporter. Wow, a Labour supporter that isn't being ridiculous. Yeah, it was, the Labour Party's... I don't even need to say anything about the Labour Party, but just, everyone who doesn't like the Labour Party or doesn't like Theresa May, basically we need Boris Johnson to come in, bring Rees-Mogg in as Chancellor, as the Exchequer, or some kind of high role in government. You bring in Boris as Alexander Boris the Pfeffel. That's his real Johnson. What is it? Yeah, he's born in New York, just like Trump. Upper East Side. He's a good man. Get Boris Johnson in. Of course, he's not American. He was born then. So he can run for president, basically. Yeah, that's how we do it. Boris Johnson becomes prime minister, then he runs for president. Bring back America into the empire. I think that would be best for all. And that's pretty much it. So, what do you think?